All right. So, could you introduce yourself again for me, please?
Yes, my name is Alice. I am Lenape and the granddaughter of Mary Evangeline, the Shawnee elder. I come from Pennsylvania. I am the president of the American Indian Society of Washington, D.C.
And do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. What brought you to this event today?
My sister called me and said this event was happening, and she's an elder and a wise person, and she said, "You'll be there," and I said, "I will be there."
I see. Okay. And you spoke earlier, right?
Yes.
What did you speak about?
I spoke about a word that we call tokahila. Tokahila means to wake up. And when I usually speak about tokahila, I say, "Wake up, children. You have been sleeping too long. You have forgotten our ancient ways and you have forgotten our ancient song." And even though I speak to the children of Turtle Island, I speak to the masses because if you believe in the 6 degrees of separation, you know that we touch one another. So when I say wake up, I need people to hear the word and you want to digest it and let it fill you. And then you wake up. And all of a sudden, the things that are important to you in the world are not important. And I was made a storyteller. I was always a storyteller, but I was told to be a storyteller by one of the elders who has walked on. So that's what I do.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. I wish I could have heard it. But so you said earlier, could you just go again over your involvement with the American Indian movement? Or are you involved in the American Indian
Yes,
movement?
actually, I have been involved with the American Indian movement, AIM, but when AIM started, I was real little. I was a knee baby. But my mother, we're from Pennsylvania, AIM moved across. And as they moved, that spirit was caught by many of us on the East Coast. We're sometimes thought of as the forgotten people because there's not as many reses here or sovereign lands, and they call us town kids or townies. But remember that on the East Coast, we're still here, as you can see by my shirt.
Yes, absolutely.
One
We're
of the
here.
mothers gave me this shirt. We were here. Those of us who are remaining, we don't want to say remnant, but remaining, my tribe was pushed to Oklahoma. My tribe was pushed to Canada. But we're still connected because we're connected by spirituality and a language. And you can't separate that. So when I go home to Oklahoma, I go to Anadarko and I see my people, my family. So yes, I'm very involved. I should be even more involved with AIM. The person who got me involved walked on a couple years ago, and he was one of the founders of AIM, and I miss him greatly.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I would, yeah. Um, so you said it was when AIM started, you were a lot younger.
Oh,
But let the sirens go by. But then, since then, when you've grown up, what sort have you taken part in any of the walks that AIM has been a part of,
yes.
or what did you do with that?
I just walked and kept water and sold T-shirts and supported those who were selling the T-shirts, I guess, and making known. We just had, it's a movie, like a movie, and she was wonderful, and it was called Warrior Women, because people forget behind AIM were the powerful women. And that's, if you get a chance to look at that, I give much respect to that film called Warrior Women. And you will see a lot of the power behind AIM.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll check that out.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. And so, what has been the most important moment in the movement for you?
I think the regeneration and the um, the understanding exactly what AIM was about and is about. And though I am not as active because I have other organizations that get my time, but there's not a time that any of the AIM people can come to me and say, "Sister, I need your help." You have my help. But in turn, when I have needed his help, he was always there for me. See, so I was gone. I joined the military after a year in college, and I was gone for over 20 years. So I'm really just getting back into the swing of what's going on in a lot of organizations. But look at the positiveness. You can pick anything apart, but the main root will always stay there. And AIM is, just like it says, AIM. I see them as aiming toward the stars, and I'm going to grab onto the tail of that star because they're doing good and great things.
Absolutely. What other organizations are you part of?
Well, as I said, I'm the president of the American Indian Society. I'm with the MMIWG, Murdered, Missing Indigenous Women and Girls. I also belong to the Coalition of East Coast Indians and also the Northern Woodland Indians. And I am a member of Circle Legacy, which is the Carlisle School. And we also are in the Longhouse in Pennsylvania. I'm
Okay.
originally from Pennsylvania.
So there's a lot there. Are any people from those organizations also here today?
Yes, a few. A few, if I can find them. A few of them are. Yes.
Okay. Um, so last year, the DC government officially replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. Why do you think that change happened when it did?
I have several thoughts on that. I'm glad it happened. I'm always weary under the auspices of why something happens. Did you do it because within your spirit you felt it was right? As an educator, me, I endeavor to educate the truth into our children and dispel the fantasies, the stories, the Brothers Grimm idea of history. I know that the history of America is dark. It is filled with blood and treachery, but is a truth. And when you're speaking a truth, you can break it off into small words for the young. But if you feed them a fantasy, they grow up to be some of the people that you see in charge now, living a fantasy, living a lie. So even though they have given us this day, Indigenous Day, for me, every day is Indigenous Day. You have marked it on the calendar, and it's been marked in my spirit since conception. So I'm a bit radical.
No, it's great. So do you think the name change is part of that, like getting rid of the fantasy of U.S. history, or do you think there's still more to do?
I think it's a start. You can't knock anything that is positive. Now, what man may see as bad, we're going to take that for good. We're trying to start our schools, our online schools, and we just had a symposium with some of our Senate representatives, and my question was the miseducation of our Native children and all children. If you say 1 plus 1 is 2, that's the truth. If you say 3.14 will always be pi, then it will always be pi. But if you say that the Indians celebrated Thanksgiving with a turkey, then you have fabricated a lie. And the web gets bigger and bigger, and children become confused. And children are light. You have no right to put darkness on light.
Sure. What do you teach the children in your life about today? Or I guess it was Monday, was Indigenous Peoples Day.
Well, I teach them first that every day that you're in this body is Indigenous Day for you. My children are grown, but they know that they walk in their truth. I also have the younger children that will come to hear stories. Our history is told by stories, but not fantasy. They're told. You will always know Tecumseh was your ancestor. Know the truth. Know the truth of those who even fought against the English. Know the truth about when you speak that you are feeding this child. Are you feeding this child truth? Are you poisoning this child? You have no right. Feed them the truth so that they can walk upright and speak truth.
Oh, I really like that way of putting it. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, switching gears a little bit, what do you think is the significance of holding this event at Malcolm X Park?
I loved it. I loved it. It's a large park and it can be quaint if you look at it. I look at as you see the indigenous trees growing around here, many of these trees, all of this is medicine. I see a lot of the medicine growing here. See, medicine, when it grows low to the ground, is made for healing. I see this as an opportunity to begin to heal. When people understand that we are one blood, we are one people, you may come from this area, and I even watch the difference between the way the people from the north treat the people from the south. I ponder that. You're still on Turtle Island. You're one people. You have the right to your own culture, and your ethnicity is important because that feeds your culture. However, we have to understand that when the great horse comes, the equalizer is we all close our eyes. What have you left behind in the wake? What is your part of the legacy?
Okay. Yeah. What do you think is the legacy of holding the event at this place?
I think it's going to be, I think it's going to grow. Now, it's very difficult to get here. It is very difficult to get here. But that's something when you do your after action review, you start, how can we make it easier to get here? Should we get a bus? Should we have ways to people to caravan? But you can't let it stop you. I think being here at Malcolm X Park, whom I remember, even though I was real little, I remember, I'm from, like I said, the north, so I do remember Malcolm X. I was so young, and my cousin said, "That's Malcolm X." And I said, "Why doesn't he have a whole name?" I'm four. I'm four. But this park, look, just the beginning. You have to have the precept, and this is the beginning.
Absolutely. So, those are all the questions I had for you, but is there anything else that you want to talk about that did not already get covered in the interview?
Well, what I would like to say to you is, Wanishi, thank you, because you took time out of your life. Time is a continuum. And you took time to honor me, to speak with me. And that's very important because that's time that you cannot get back. And you took time out of your life, your spirit, to touch my spirit with respect. And I thank you for that.
Thank you for the same, for sitting and speaking to me and sharing all of this. I appreciate it so much, and I learned a lot.
I learned every day.
Absolutely. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.